Buwan na ng Oktubre, napakabilis po ng panahon. Sa buwan na ito, sineselebrate natin ang Filipino History buong buwan. Kaya naman sisimulan natin ang ating programa ngayon sa pakikipagtalakay natin tungkol sa ating nakaraan bilang Pilipino. On our show today, we speak to a historian. Brandon Joseph Reilly completed his PhD in South and Southeast Asian history at UCLA in 2013, where he worked under the guidance of Michael Salmon. His dissertation, which he is turning into a book, is titled Collecting the People, Textualizing Epics in the Philippines from the 16th century to the 21st. His broader areas of research include modern Southeast Asia, the global Philippines, Asian American studies, the Pacific, and American Empire. He's currently a lecturer at UCLA and Irvine Valley College, rather. He lives in Irvine with his beautiful wife, not far from his home in Artesia. Maraming salamat, Brandon. You're here on Kababayan Today. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
All right, so let's get started. You're a historian. What does that mean for people that don't know? Ano ba tong historian na to? What is that about?
You know, it's actually a harder question than most people suppose. History is everything that's in the past, but it's not everything that's taken place before. It's the things that matter, and the things that matter to us in the present. And in our specific case, it's the things that relate to Filipinos, whether they're in America, the Philippines, Europe, or anywhere else. And it's all the things that shape our history up until today.
Okay, so people are probably wondering, bakit may Amerikano dun sa Kababayan Today? You are Filipino, aren't you?
Yes, yeah. My grandfather came to America in 1971, and like a lot of other immigrants, my grandfather, Lorenzo Macapagal, he came by himself for a few years, worked as an accountant, you know, on his own, away from his family, and it wasn't until, I think, 1973 that he was able to petition my grandmother, my uncle, and my mother to come here, and then they've been in SoCal, but really in Artesia ever since that time.
I see. So you and I are quite similar because we're halfies, right? What we call hapas.
Yeah.
Half Filipino, right? Okay, so being a Filipino, there are not a lot of Filipino-Americans that are in higher education. Why do you suppose that is?
Well, certainly there's the structural barriers that we face. And so there's been a lot of studies about the different immigrant groups that have come to America. And so, for instance, there's one study that looks at how Koreans succeed versus how Filipinos have succeeded. A lot of Filipinos that get here, they want to just be able to get a job, any kind of wage labor they can get into, because conditions in the Philippines are so difficult. And but you compare that with the Koreans, for instance, and because they come from a comparatively better place, their country is less impoverished, they have been able to become more successful in business and things like that. So part of it is that Filipinos, compared to other Asian groups and compared to a lot of other people in the world, they start off in a lower place. So there's that. Another part of it is just the kind of longer history of our colonialism. I think that because of the Spanish colonialism and because of American colonialism, Filipinos don't value their history as much. And this is even a problem sometimes with speaking to our elders. It's not something that a lot of times they want to talk about, even when you ask them questions. And so there's a number of reasons, but I think, thankfully, that this is changing now, and we're seeing a lot of Filipinos get into academia and change the world.
Right. For the whole month of September, here on the show, we've been featuring a lot of people that are in academics, a lot of professors. You are a lecturer. How is that experience like being in a university institution and sharing your knowledge about what Filipino history is?
It's my joy in life. You know, it's inspiring, it's empowering. It's and I'm the luckiest person alive. I have wonderful people around me in my family life and in my professional life. It's really great to be able to be in a place like Los Angeles, you know, no different from Manila or a lot of other places like that, where you have students from all over the world come to you from different economic backgrounds, you know, different cultures, different nationalities, different stations in life. And to be able to teach them and tell them about Filipino history, and you know, to have that be your calling and to be able to do that every day, it's the most rewarding job on earth, and I love it, you know. It's
so great to hear that a fellow kababayan Filipino follows their passion and is successful doing so. So I know that because of the work that you've done, you were able to go back to the Philippines and you were able to record and history as well as research about our culture. So when we return on Kababayan Today, I would love to hear more about your experience in the Philippines. Was this the first time you went back to the Philippines?
For the dissertation, second.
Second time.
Yeah.
And the first time was when you were how old?
Just a couple years before that. So
Okay.
I was already in college at UCLA.
Okay. Oh, go Bruins! I had to do it. Okay, so how was that experience like going to UCLA? Did you join any of the Filipino groups that were in the college?
We're fortunate at UCLA in that we have a strong Filipino-American community that has a lot of organizations and is very active in a lot of ways, not just within the campus, but particularly within the community.
Yeah.
So that a lot of groups like Samahang Filipino, for instance, their activities are not confined to the campus, but they do a lot of things, with the community at large. I've been to a number of events, and especially with graduate students, but one of the problems, unfortunately, I think that when you're a grad student, you don't interact as much as you should with the undergrads, and this is something that, speaking to other grad students, I noticed it happened where, Samahang Filipino they would have their events and we would attend and we would know about them, but we wouldn't attend them as much. And then, the Alumni Association would have things, but Samahang Filipino wouldn't come. And so, in a way, you have, there's these great organizations, but they don't cooperate as much as they should.
Okay, well, we'll discuss more about that when we return here on Kababayan Today. Kausap natin si Brandon Reilly, isang historian. Don't go away.